am Dope, your idiot leader. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Dope Show. Today we're looking at 3 different generations of horror to figure out what is the best horror. What is the best horror comics of all time? Is it the pre-code stuff? Is it the 70s nostalgia stuff? Or is it the brand new modern stuff? Really, it's all in the eye of the beholder. There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. I'm going to tell you my answer, and probably most people might not like my answer. But we're going to go over everything. We're going to look at everything. We're going to compare everything. Ain't nothing left to do but do it to it. So let's get to it. So first up, if you think about it, this right here is the grandfather of all of them. Tales from the Crypt is the biggest EC line. EC line is the biggest production of all the old companies from Pre-Code Horror. So this is the grandfather of them all. This is Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt is amazing. Pre-Code Horror in general was amazing. But yeah, there was shitty books in Pre-Code Horror. And every generation from Pre-Code Horror, let's just go over all the categories first. You got your Pre-Code Horror. Then you got like your 70s DC, which the staple to all of that was House of Secrets. House of Secrets was the best thing out in the 70s. And then modern horror. My favorite modern horror is the Silver Coin Anthology. And it is amazing. So let's talk about each one individually. First you got Tales from the Crypt, the Pre-Code Horror in general. Pre-Code Horror in general is very, very wordy. So, is that a plus? Is that a minus? You get a lot of reading for your buck. The bad point is, it's very, very, very wordy. If you like to read and you grew up in this time period, it's probably reads pretty good to you. But if you're a new reader, a lot of this stuff is kind of corny. It don't really make a lot of sense. They use a lot of words that we don't say today. And it's kind of corny in a lot of ways. But it's also very appealing. It's cool. It's like going back in time reading this kind of stuff, smelling the pages, smelling that old comic aura. You know what I mean? It's got its own smell. It's got its own vibe. It's on like newspaper, print. Very wordy. You get a lot of words for your money. It's very cartoony. But you can respect the art because it's all hand-drawn. You got to respect this kind of stuff. I collect this kind of stuff because of the fact that a lot of it got, they had book burnings, they had paper drives. People crumbled up these books and balls and put them in the studs of their walls for insulation back in the days. Just a lot of stuff. Moths, fires. The survivor rate of these books is not high. And I love anything horror, so I love to collect these for the history. But as far as just straight up reading, these are not really the best, I don't feel. The quality of the paper is thicker, but also it's besides the cover, the interior has more of a newspaper feel. These books weren't made to last 80 years, 60 years, but they have. The materials, though, are just basically junk. It's 3 staples and some newspaper. But I really like to collect old Pre-Code Horror because of the history of the book, not because of the read. Then you get into more of the 70s era. A lot of people love this stuff. This stuff is awesome. It's got some of the best artwork you can find on covers. It's got great... It's not as wordy as some of the Pre-Code Horror, but it's still wordy. You get Bernie Wrightson. You get a lot of great art. These books are fun to collect because they're still affordable. Unlike Pre-Code Horror, some of these covers, if they were Pre-Code Horror, would be worth thousands because it's so good of artwork. This is a nice medium between modern comics and Pre-Code Horror. It's not quite as wordy. It's not quite as silly. It's not quite as cartoony. It's not quite, the language is a little bit more, less silly. You can relate to it more being my age. But, I am 47 years old. And a lot of people my age likes this stuff because of the nostalgia. So how much do you actually like the book and how much of it is just nostalgia? And then you get into modern books. Modern books is just like any other generation. There's a lot of shit and there's a lot of good stuff. And that's that way with anything. So the reason I'm showing you these three titles is because this is the good stuff when it comes to each brand. I feel like this is the best stuff made in each generation. You got your Tales from the Crypt, you got your House of Secrets, and now you got your Silvercoin. Michael Walsh does all the art in these. He tells a lot of the stories, but then he also, if you read Silvercoin, he gets all the great writers to write their own story in these, because these are anthologies. So, you know, you got a lot of great writers that write different stories in Silvercoin. So each one is a different story. So we love that, just like we do the old books. So it carries on the same tradition of being anthologies, just like the other two I just showed you. You can pick up any book and read it, and for the most part, Silvercoin, 90% of them are hit. I've only picked up 2 bad Silvercoin books out of the 20-something that's made. So I think we're around 18 to 20 now, so there's only been 2 stories I didn't like. These are usually always hits. Love this stuff, and I'm going to be honest with you, modern comics read a lot better. Modern comics have a good pace to them. Modern art might be a little bit more digital, but it pops off the page. It's a lot more realistic. People say that a lot of modern books, people my age always say that there's no good modern comics, or they don't collect modern comics. Well, I feel like that's wrong. I feel like this is best comic time I've ever had. There's so many good reads out there right now. From the horror stuff to like action stuff. I love everything out right now. Right now, I feel like is a golden time to read. If you're reading stuff like Deadly Tales of Spawn or Sam and Twitch, or finding some of the Silvercoin stuff, or Hellverine's awesome right now. Hell Hunters is awesome right now. Sabretooth's awesome. There's lots of great reads out right now. And people that say there's nothing good out right now ain't reading comics. Most people say that don't collect new comics, and they don't know. But this right here, modern comics are at the, right now, I think as far as reading, comics are at their peak. I think there's better stuff out right now than there was in the 50s. Art-wise, I feel like today's art is more my eye appeal. It's less cartoony. It pops off the pages. Some people don't like the digital feel or whatever, but I love it. I don't even care if it's AI. Yeah, I just want the best reading experience possible. And if that's AI doing my art, I'm fine with it. A guy don't have to draw it for me to like it. Some people was like, well, I'm an artist and I want real art on my pages. Well, I'm not an artist. I am a reader, and I just want the best reading experience, the best art. I don't care if it's drawn by man or computer. And modern books read better than any book. They have better pacing than any book. There's a lot better stuff out there to read. I've read all 3 generations. In my opinion, modern books are the best to read. In my opinion, they have the best artwork. In my opinion, they have the best covers. And I love all 3. And I collect all 3 for different reasons. I like some for the history. I like some for the nostalgia. I like some for the covers. Modern books, though, just seem to have everything. And that's coming from a 47-year-old man. I love the artwork. I love the reading. I love the way that the pages just pop. The materials used today. The insides of these is not the newspaper that these things used. This is better to me. The pages just pop. Everything pops about these. Modern books, in my opinion, are the best they've ever been. And I think the horror genre right now is the best it's ever been. And in my opinion, it's going nowhere but up. I feel like the horror made today is better than any horror books ever made. I feel like the comic books made today is better than any comic books ever made. And I'm a reader. I could care less about the artwork. I like artwork, but some people just collect books for artwork. They're like, well, I don't read books. Well, you're just a cover, buyer. That don't hold much weight with me. If you're not reading modern comic books and you don't know modern comic books, then, in your own, you have your right to your opinion, but it don't hold much water in my category. Once I hear you're not a reader or you don't collect modern books, then I'm just turn you off. But just like that, we're under 10 minutes. So pick what category you like the best. Let me know. Are you a modern reader? Are you a 70s reader? Are you a pre-code horror collector? What do you collect? I like all 3 for different reasons. I much rather read the new stuff because the old 40s and 50s shit is campy. When it comes to covers, it's hard to. The pre-code horror is wonderful because it's all hand drawn and there's so much detail. Uh, I love that for that, and I love the history of the old stuff, and I love the nostalgia of the '70s stuff, and I love the modern stuff just to read and to. Uh, Overall, I think the modern stuff's better than any other generation. So I give modern comics the vote over any other comic. If I had a choice between collecting pre-code and collecting old stuff or reading new stuff, I'm a reader first. So I would read over collect. So I have two halves of brains. Half of my brain collects, half of it reads. I like to collect everything because I'm a collector, but I also like to read. And if I had to give up my collection of vintage stuff or my collection of reading stuff, I would give up my collection of vintage stuff because I'm a reader first. What kind of collector you are is up to you. But there's no wrong answers. There's no right answers. Just let me know in the comments, what kind of collector are you? What do you like to collect? What do you not like about modern comics? What do you not like about pre-code horror comics? What do you not like about, 70s DC? Just let me know in the comments. Happy to talk to you guys anytime you want to talk. And like the like button, smash the dislike button. I don't care, just like something. And until the next time, I will see you again beneath a blackened sky.